All right, let's talk about something that can get super weird super fast, loaning money to people you care about. It's one of those things that starts with the best intentions, but man, it can go sideways. So we're going to get into it and figure out how to handle this without ruining a good friendship.
Seriously, just take a second and think about it. When's the last time a friend or a family member came to you asking for cash? Remember how that felt? You probably got that little knot in your stomach, right? Yeah, it's awkward. And you are definitely not the only one who feels that way.
It's funny. This isn't some new, modern problem. We're talking centuries ago. Shakespeare himself was writing about it. He basically said that when you make a loan, you often end up losing the money and the friend. And that has stuck around for a reason, because the human side of it hasn't changed at all. So let's zoom in on that exact moment. The moment that question gets asked. On the surface, it seems simple, right? But underneath, it is just loaded with all this hidden stuff that can totally shift the dynamic of a relationship in an instant.
I mean, it feels like pretty much everyone has been through this. It doesn't matter if it's for $20 or $20,000, mixing money and relationships it's a thing we all do. And it almost always brings up a lot of feelings.
So what makes it so, just weird? Well, first off, the boundaries just get fuzzy. One minute you're just buddies, the next you're a lender and they're a borrower. Then you've got all these unspoken expectations floating around. Like, you might think you'll get paid back next month, but maybe they're thinking next year. And you're kind of stuck, aren't you? If you say no, you could hurt their feelings. But if you say yes, well, that's a whole other can of worms. It's a total catch-22. Okay, so to really get why these situations can blow up, we have to put on our psychology hats for a minute. Because it turns out the person lending the money and the person borrowing it are basically living on two different planets when it comes to how they see the situation. And this is where it gets super interesting. A study from UCLA really nailed this. The lender is thinking, okay, I'm helping you out, but deep down, that's still my money you have. So I kind of have a right to what the researchers called deserved oversight. Basically, a right to have an opinion on what you do with it. But the borrower, the second that money is in their hands, a switch flips in their brain. They get this feeling of perceived ownership. It's like, this is my money now, and I'm in charge of how I use it to fix my problem. So that's the whole ball game right there. That huge gap between I feel like I should have a say and this is mine now to control. That is the silent killer of friendships. It's the little crack where all the anger and resentment start to grow. And this isn't just some abstract theory. No, this has real-world consequences. The data actually shows us what kind of spending is most likely to light the fuse and cause a major blow-up. Okay, two fancy-sounding words we need to know for this next part, but they're super simple. A utilitarian purchase is something practical, like paying the rent or fixing your car. A hedonic purchase? That's for fun. Think concert tickets, a vacation, a fancy night out. Got it? Practical versus fun. And boom, this is what the research found. Just look at this chart from that same study. Those dark bars show the fun, hedonic purchases. Lender anger just shoots through the roof when the money goes to something indulgent. But here's the kicker, the part that blows my mind. Lenders were still really angry, even when they got all their money back on time. So what does that really tell us? It tells us that for the person who lent the money, it was never just about the dollars and cents. When they see their hard-earned cash being used for a fancy dinner instead of the car repair they talked about, it feels like a slap in the face. It's a violation of that deserved oversight they feel, and it feels like total disrespect. All right, so after all that, you might still be thinking about lending the money. So how do you do it without setting a grenade off in your relationship? Is there a smarter way to go about this? This guide from Sapiens Financial is just fantastic. And notice how it starts. It's not about them, it's about you first. Step 1, your goals. Is this loan going to mess with your own plans? Step 2, your values. Are you trying to help them get back on their feet or just enabling a bad habit? Step 3, your own cash flow. Seriously, can you afford to never see this money again? Only after you've answered those questions do you even consider the next steps. Step 4 is all about getting everything out in the open, how much and when it's getting paid back. And step 5, that's maybe the deepest one. Are they asking for help or are they just asking for a check? And look, the whole point of this isn't to turn your friendship into a business transaction. It's actually the opposite. It's about being respectful enough to have an honest, upfront conversation instead of relying on awkward, unspoken rules. Getting that clarity right at the beginning is your best shot at avoiding that whole psychological mess we talked about. So as we bring this all home, it's really important to just zoom out for a second.
And remember what's actually at stake here. Because it was never really about the money in the first place, was it? At the end of the day, any decision you make, whether you say yes, no, or yes with some rules, it's not really a financial one. It's a relationship one. The real win isn't just getting your money back. The real win is making sure your friendship is still intact and healthy when it's all over.
And that really just leaves us with one last powerful question, the one you absolutely have to ask yourself before you do anything. Is the dollar amount on that check worth more than the relationship you are putting on the line? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.